Happy Friday. My name is Caroline Hayes for anybody on here that I haven't met yet. I am both proud to be a board member for the YLC and Vice President of Marketing for AOS Interior Environments. And I am super excited today to welcome everybody to the first talk in what we are calling our Young Professional at Home virtual design series. This series is part of the Young Leadership Council's efforts to bring some mindful, engaging content to our membership and friends in this rather strange new environment that we've all found ourselves in. Some of you might ask why YLC might be doing a design series. And through some conversations I've had with our YLC leadership and our members, we've discussed how design inspires creativity. It seems now more than ever that creativity is really critical to leadership at all levels. When everything's shifting and new approaches are yet to be known, creative leaders are the ones that we look to really design some clarity in the uncertainty. And I would say as a service-minded leadership development organization, YLC really believes that the best creativity comes from a desire to contribute to the lives of others, either by introducing something new that improves the quality of their lives or by showing people that something thought to be impossible might be in fact possible. And when you change people's perception about what can be accomplished or achieved, you really contribute to humanity, we think, in the richest way possible, giving them hope for the future, even in small ways. So with that in mind, we reached out to some of our most creative and talented young professionals, infusing their designs into New Orleans, and asked them to share with us some unique ways in which we can enhance both our lives and hopefully add to our perspective as young leaders. So with all that being said, and without further ado, I am thrilled to introduce you to two dear friends and brilliant designers, Ashley and Lauren from Ferrand Designs.
Thank you, Caroline. I'm Lauren, and Ashley's here as well. She's at home in Lakeview. I'm at the office. Ashley, you want to say hey?
Hi, everybody.
So she and I are super happy to be here. For those of you who don't know who we are, we're interior designers here in New Orleans. We're both from here. We're sisters. And we started this company about 10 years ago. We mainly focus on commercial and hospitality, and we do a little bit of residential as well. Of course, that was our backbone getting started, and then we shifted a lot into commercial, but we were still doing a lot of residential as well. And so anyway, Caroline came to us with this idea to present to you guys about making your home a more inspiring place. And that just was music to my ears because I think that our home environments are very personal to us. And we need to give it a lot of attention and love and give it its personal touches that it deserves. So now that we're probably hyper-focused on all the little nooks and crannies and cracks and dust bunnies and whatever, because we're there all the time, we don't get to leave, then it gives us a little more time maybe to think about those things. So just getting started. Let's see here. Here we are. There's me and Ashley. We are licensed. We went to LSU, so never really traveled too far away from home for our school. And again, we work for architecture firms here in New Orleans and Baton Rouge before getting started with our own business. Okay, so as members of the YLC community, you guys are leaders of the community and live very dynamic lives. Your daily routines consist of many appointments, meetings, goals that you have to meet, accomplishments that you want to meet every day. So as a successful leader, you are pros at creating life balance. you thrive on it, actually. And today your lives are kind of a little bit tipped upside down. And from this quarantine, working from home is probably something we're all doing the majority of our day, and maybe even the weekends, because we don't really have the division of time set aside, in particular because we're not changing places. No more group gatherings or social events, no more gym, no more dinners out, surrounded by family probably all day, every day, or you're isolated from others. I've been snacking all the time. It's like an excuse I use to get up out of my seat from work. And I'm feeling trapped at home a lot. So, and I'm unable to, for those of you who are living with people, you're unable to separate from family and work. We talked about that. And then unable to separate from your work to create personal time. And I'm sure you can think of a few other examples. So there's a lot changing. So with quarantine taking us out of our daily routine, this is kind of removing us from our life balance. So the 4 pillars of life balance that I've really come to know, and I see most of you really into having these, is relationships, health, work, and personal growth. We can still have that life balance, and we can create an inspiring interior environment to have that. So one of the ways I've reset my life balance is by paying focus and attention to these 4 elements. Ashley and I have been gifted with an eye for design. It's intuitive for us, and for sure, and it's like not that way for everybody. Design can be pretty subjective and then can feel like a little bit of pressure from that. So Ashley and I have come up with a more objective way to explain these 4 elements to you. And we'll just be breaking it down with a more scientific backing on why some color, light, sound, and form are better than others. So we'll start with color. The psychology of color. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys this template, this whole slideshow after this, so you don't have to hurry up and memorize all these things. But start to think about what your favorite colors are during this presentation. And then maybe later you'll be able to realize a little bit more about maybe what that means to you. Psychology of color can really be a powerful tool to motivate you or influence your emotion or mood. Here's some really beautiful schemes here that are in the warm color family. The red spectrum speaks to several different types of personalities. It can be a powerful color. They can be courageous, optimistic, and inspire alertness. So we've got oranges, yellows, and reds in these schemes. Those are the warm family. Here's a few more. Even deep burgundies, if they've got enough red in them, they're considered warm. Now the cool colors, in contrast, can be very soothing. They can also say a lot about you as far as just being more calm and relaxed. You can also influence that space just by putting these colors in there and getting that vibe to people. Here are a few more colors in the cool family, some lighter bluish purples. Some gorgeous neutrals, super earthy vibes. This can kind of provide a more clean and simple aesthetic. And again, the earthy vibes, super natural. Black and white, okay. Super austere, but also can emulate a minimalistic style. Even with this detailed plaster that you see on the wall, it still has this nice modern feel. Of course, the furniture doesn't help, at all, right? Super modern furniture. It's a nice space. And then, okay, so we've talked about the tones of color. But these are also ways to view color and when you're pairing colors and creating color relationships. So the color wheel is that excellent objective tool that you can use to really understand color relationships and how they can work for you. Mixing colors can be super daunting at times. Right here, you'll see these are monochromatic colors. So you'll use one color and implement different shades of the same color in this scheme. Analogous, you'll be using colors next to each other on the color scheme. So this one has blue, blue-green, and green. Complementary colors, these are going to be opposite of each other on the color wheel. A lot of times you'll see this team colors, obviously red and green holiday colors. So LSU is purple and gold. These are super partners, these colors, and you can do different relationships and different interpretations of them. So we have light green and light red, which is pink. And this is creating a very hot, trendy combination here. This combination is, I think, really trending right now too because plants are so popular. Plants have become a big part of design. And then our final color relationship is triadic. This is the more complex of the color schemes that I've shown you, but it can really provide an eclectic vibe if you're trying to achieve that in your space. This is where you can really use your color wheel and tricks so you can really tap into your design skills. All right, so at the end of each element, I'm just going to give you a few tips as to where you can go with the instructions and the information that you're getting from us today. So with color, why don't you check out what colors speak to you? Like, what is your favorite color? What colors do you normally wear, for example? And what color relationships appeal to you in the slides that were previous slides? This weekend, you may want to go as far as painting a wall. I definitely don't say you have to do that, but if you've got the time, might as well have some experimental fun. And then just go ahead if you just want to play with color and not have the biggest commitment like painting a wall. Add or change the location of existing art in your space. You'd be surprised at just putting a fresh color in a room to see what mood has changed there. Okay, light. Light and color, I think, are the most important. So this one's a really good one. I hope you guys get some good info out of this one. Light temperature. So this is another scientific thing. I didn't make it up, promise. But as humans, we are completely adapted to our environment. Our bodies were made to really live outside, and the way that we wake up and go to sleep is to the sun. So circadian rhythm is how that is defined, and it's the internal process that has been in humans since we've been around. And the process is highly influenced by our artificial light now. So keep in mind your light bulb colors and stuff inside your house. What time of day do you have the brightest lights on? And what time of day are they closer to dim candlelight? If you've improved this circadian rhythm, which I'm going to show you how to do that in the next few slides, you'll increase your alertness in the morning. You'll improve your productivity and concentration throughout the day. You'll improve your mood, reduce hyperactivity. You'll reduce errors and accidents. And then you'll also speed up your cognitive processing. All right, so this is just a simple breakdown. We're not going to read through this whole slide, but you'll have this again once we end this meeting. Warm light, white light, and blue light. Okay, so going back to this last slide, the warm light is at the beginning of the spectrum and the end. So this warm light you want to use in the morning and in the evening. The white light in the middle is really good for true color rendering, and it still inspires an alert energy. This is the color that I recommend you use at the higher peak days, hours in the day. So anywhere from like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then blue light should be used specifically for a task. And I'm sure that some of you are probably familiar with hearing about the science of blue light recently with the introduction of cell phones. So I think we've all heard about the fatigue and the issues of overuse. So this is one that you would want to use just at a short period of time, and you can use it in your desk area, but just keep in mind that sometimes it could be too much light, and maybe just the white light is all you need. So here's some examples of warm light in spaces. Here's a few more. I just like pretty pictures, so we could go all day like this. And then here are some white light images. So just a slight difference. There's a little more yellow going on here, whereas the white gives you that nice color rendering, easy to work in, task-related atmosphere. Some more. And there's that blue light, okay? It's helpful at times, but obviously this girl is trying to go to bed. Look at the light behind her. Blue light is not doing her any favors. Okay, and then there is an applied technique of layering light. So I'm going to start with, there's 3 layers that I'm going to go over. The first one is ambient. So ambient is going to be natural light through the windows and overhead lighting, like these cans that you see here, and trough lighting. So the ambient lighting is just the overall blanket of light. Accent lighting, this is something that you can do, and it's really fun, is just to add a little bit of light here and there to accentuate a space, to call attention to an area, or just to give a little more interest to just an ambient blanket of light. And then we have our task lights. That's the bedside lighting, the desk lighting, the overhead and the sofa area. By the way, I'm working from my sofa most of the time, so something like this is ideal when you just have to work from your laptop on your sofa. Okay, and then there's one other item that's not actually a light bulb, but it helps with the light and energy in the space, and I just didn't know where to put it, but I know mirrors are super important, so we're gonna put it in lighting. And this is like a really good tool. I use mirrors all the time to create space, to bring in more light, and to repeat color in a space. So maybe you want to try that out this weekend, a little bit of mirror action. All right, so here's your to-dos for light. I think you can easily add task or accent lighting somewhere. So anywhere that you are doing tasks on a regular basis, you want to check this out. So maybe under cabinet lighting, if you haven't done it, you guys have some free time this weekend. Check out, I know Home Depot is open giving deliveries. So you can order some under cabinet lighting from Home Depot. You can provide lamps at your home office or over your sofa, reading lamps near the sofa if you're just reading. And then for accents, you can find some cool lamps, just a really interesting lamp, put it on a bookshelf. You can adjust your existing track lighting to wash walls instead of just giving you ambient light. Maybe you can accent a painting on the wall. Okay, and then just changing light bulbs. So the desired color temperature, the kelvins, those will be listed on the light bulb. And so, and you can go back, refer back to this reference to see the numbers, but the lower numbers are going to be closer to candlelight and the higher numbers are going to be closer to blue light. So all your cans, maybe change those to white light. Your lamps can go to warm, and then the blue light's just in your very specific areas. And again, add those mirrors. I don't think you're losing anything with that. Okay, form. Furniture can not only be something that you just sit on or use as a task implementing item, but they can also add visual interest to a space. And if you're getting bored with your existing space, why not redo a chair in a funky color, or put it in a different room that's unusual? Just try something different with your existing furniture that can give you some visual interest in your space. And then furniture function. So I'm going to breeze over this. I'm going to give you a link at the end of this presentation that will give you more specifics on the science of ergonomics and the key rules on what to do and how to apply ergonomic tools and elements. So first, I'm just going to go over the major things that people are making mistakes in ergonomics. So ergonomics is how healthy you are, your posture in your chair and your desk, and then your eyesight even lining up with your screen. These images give you a good example of what to do, what not to do. Just make sure that you have a properly adjustable chair. Your keyboard is in alignment so that your wrists aren't overly bent. If you can, try and find a desktop computer and replace your laptop. And if you can't replace your laptop, get a wireless keyboard and maybe prop your laptop up on a little box or something. A little shoebox would be great to elevate the line of sight. And then again, if you're working from home, remember to get up, and they don't always have to go to the refrigerator for snacks like I do. You can also just pick up the phone and just go take a walk outside and maybe call your best friend, or, you know, just take a little 10-minute break. There's plenty of things that you can do. Just remember to come back to work. Don't get too distracted. And then make sure that you just have a right amount of light. So giving yourself adjustability throughout the day for your lighting is key. So having the task light versus ambient at different times of the day can be very helpful. Here are a few tricks for those sofa surfers like me. I'm currently using this little board here. My friend Marty and I came up with this lap desk, and we just love it. AOS has these wonderful little tables that can be modified to fit your lap. This is not the best, like these lap desks are not the best, but you know, when you're in a pinch, these can definitely improve. And then here's our wireless keyboard here, just in case you can grab that shoebox and set your laptop on a table somewhere. All right, art and objects. When I'm thinking about art and objects, I think about all the stuff that I have around me. And sometimes we have too much stuff. And this is a good time during this quarantine to declutter our homes. It's important to surround ourselves with the items that we love and the items that really make us happy. So when you're in your rooms and the special rooms that you like to occupy, take a look around and ask yourself, do these items make me happy? Can I live without them? And once you've done that, you can narrow it down and place these things around you. It really can shift your mood when you're in your own space. All right, here we are. You know it was coming. Plants. Everybody loves plants, and there's a good reason. So the science behind it actually does boost your mood and your productivity, your concentration, your creativity, reduces stress, fatigue. They literally clean the indoor air. They add life to a sterile environment. They give you privacy in some ways. They can reduce noise, believe it or not. And they're also very therapeutic and much cheaper than a therapist. And if you don't think that you're a plant person, you swear you don't have a green thumb, there are plenty of local artists like Mary Singleton here on the bottom right corner. She is an amazing artist that, believe it or not, the psychological effects of plants can still be absorbed from a painting. This is just, again, giving you a visual reminder of where you come from, outside. So here's a shout out to my plant goddess friend, Camille. This is her house in the Bywater. She's fearless plant woman. But she's also got a lot of tricks. And these are 3 plants that she swears by that are almost impossible to kill. And one on the top is easy to propagate. As you can see, it's growing all over her shelves here. That's the pothos. And the second one is, I like to call it mother-in-law tongue. My sister calls it the Sansevieria. Right, Ashley? I think that's correct.
Yes, you got it.
The mother-in-law tongue. And then the ZZ plant, or the Zanzibar. So Zanzibar is actually one of the best plants to keeping your air clean. These are all almost indestructible plants. So your to-dos for form: declutter, organize, refurbish an old piece of furniture, change a location of existing art or objects, create art, rearrange your bookshelves, adjust your ergonomics at your home and workspace, add plants, and if you can't add plants, add plant art. Sound, okay, our last element. I'm a child of music. I live by it, but sometimes we need quiet. And so when we need quiet, there are a few things that can reduce the reverberation in a room, the echoing in a room, or like even just giving you speech quiet or speech privacy, so that when someone's in another room, they can't hear your voice, echoing down the hallways. So a few tricks for that: you can add area rugs over a hard surface floor. It's super easy. Using shades, window shades and drapery around your windows, and maybe adding a little bit more buffer around the edges to kind of dampen some of the wall reflection as well. When you choose furniture, this may be obvious to some of you, but upholstered furniture will be better for that sound absorption. And then if you're in the space and you're trying to drown out the space around you, drown out the noise around you, you can use white noise, or just simply buy a really nice set of headphones. So when you don't want quiet, music can actually bring a room to a whole nother level. Curating a playlist with your family, or setting out special times of day to actually enjoy music with others, or to simply use music like classical music to bring more focus to the work that you're doing in the headphones that you're now wearing to keep the sound out. These are great times for music as well. And I think that this, again, really does add a layer. I don't know how many of you shop at Whole Foods, but I think about this all the time, that they specifically choose certain music to play to inspire you to have a nice shopping experience when you're there. So like next time you're at Whole Foods, pay attention to what they're playing. It's very scientifically picked. They have the algorithms down on who's in there and what time of day. It's kind of pretty interesting. So this weekend, identify your quiet spaces in your home. If you live with family, make these sacred no noise spaces, or set a schedule for quiet time. Add rugs or window treatments to a space that seems to have an echo. Collaborate with family and make a playlist as before. Maybe you can have a super posh playlist for certain times of day. Maybe you have a time in the kitchen where you're all together and you want to listen to jazz music. That's super fun. If you're musically inclined, or someone in your family is, inspire that, make some music. And then if you really want that quiet and you can't seem to have any other way, that white noise is super nice, or the headphones. I highly recommend it. So identify the spaces in your home. This is the last chapter of this presentation. So taking all the knowledge that you have learned on color, light, form, and sound, how can you apply those to the special spaces in your house to help build relationships, health, work, and personal growth? Because remember, we're trying to bring that balance that as leaders we really thrive on. And since we've gotten a reduced spread or landscape that we cover on a daily basis, how can we bring that into our home? So for relationships, we've got the dining room, the living room, the front porch, the kitchen, the backyard, a very dynamic options, a set of options for building relationships. In these areas, certain colors can stir up the energy. So those warm colors can really stir up the energies. But just think about your favorite color palette. It doesn't have to be the warms. Maybe you and your family like a very cool palette. Just color in general can really bring out the life in a space. For light in these areas, that bright, warm light for active connections, or the dim, warm light. So we didn't talk much about like the actual volume of illumination, but sometimes it doesn't need to be all the way up the dimmer switch. At night, it's nice and pleasing for all of our complexions to have that nice warm glow without all of the bright light shining on us. And then form, art, plants, furniture, anything that's going to be comfortable and a conversation starter. And then of course, speech privacy. If you're on that Zoom call at night and you want not to hear your neighbors, try to find a spot in your living room that's cool. And then make sure you have that music going for your gatherings to keep it extra fun. Your health can easily be satisfied here. You can work out in your living room. You can take a bubble bath. You can have fun and create an activity in the kitchen. You can use a spare room for workout. Neutral tones, cleanliness, those are all nice things for your health. Also in your kitchen, keeping fresh items, organic, wholesome items out so that they're readily available to have a snack. Light, bright, warm light for all of your lighting needs. And then maybe some dim, warm light for your pamper sessions. Yeah, so just for form, comfy furniture, exercise equipment, obviously. Plants go a long way. You can see some mother-in-law tongue in the top right corner. And then sound, noise is allowed in health. Like let's have some good times, you know, and the kitchen especially. And then of course you can always have the nice quiet bath time experience for sure. For work, so neutral tones, kind of keeping you calm and cool. Bright light, the white light, task lighting, have that available so you can layer it. Art, plants, and ergonomics to keep you happy and comfortable. And then for your sound, of course, maintain the speech privacy when you can. Apply the headphones and maybe turn on some classical music. Your last pillar for balance is personal growth, something a lot of us neglect, going outside of ourselves to take care of everyone else. But sometimes you need that time to separate and make your space more personal and, you know, be by yourself. So pick your favorite color for this space. Use bright light when you're trying to focus. Maybe you're doing some journaling. And then the mornings and evenings, you have a nice lighting as well. For form, art, plants, and music instruments, your favorite things. Sound, quiet areas for reading, meditation and journaling, music for enrichment, and again, make music. So thanks you guys for hanging out with us today. I just want to plug a few things in the back here just to kind of keep you motivated in your spaces. These are a few things that I'm doing on my end that have been really helpful for me. And so I just wanted to share. To keep moving, as some of you know, I'm a yoga teacher, just part-time. So I have some full-time yoga teacher friends that are putting together excellent classes here online. So that's them up there. Ergonomics, that human scale reference, I'm going to have this link right here. And then art, NOMA and Ogden Museum are both giving virtual tours right now of their spaces. Ogden Museum in particular is doing one every Wednesday with a meditation to pair with it. And then of course music, I can't get enough always. I miss my concerts, I miss my live shows. So Sofa King music streaming has been a good replacement for the time being. So please stay in touch. And if you guys have any questions about your spaces and you need some virtual assistance this weekend, I don't have much planned, so Ashley and I are available. Please give us a call anytime during your quarantine. If you just have some, need some quick advice, we're here for you. And then I'll be around now if you guys have any questions about the presentation.
Thank you, everybody. I just wanted to jump in here and say this is Ashley. Lauren drove the presentation, so I was able to kind of sit back and relax a little bit. But I hope this gave you some good tips for revitalizing your home office or just the space that you're living in every day to make it a little bit more enjoyable. And I hope you have a good Easter weekend also. Hope you guys have some good plans.
Thanks, Ash. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, you can stick around, shoot us an email. Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, this is Carolyn. I wanted to jump in and say thank you to everybody for attending our first one of our design series. I do encourage you to reach out to Lauren and Ashley if you have any questions about your own personal design or spaces. And then I know Ashley Robison, on our incredible YLC communications and engagement manager, has a few upcoming events that we're hosting for YLC on the YLC side that are along these lines of giving you some creative and thoughtful content to consider in this time.